basically gonna give you a couple teams. We got what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams, and you're gonna let me know: are they contenders or are they pretenders?
Jackson Brown.
The Cavs.
Oh, pretenders. What are you talking about?
All right. Okay. Hold on though.
Ideally, they would be contenders, yes, but they didn't get anything during the trade deadline. Yeah, and I think that they're a piece away from being up there. But I mean, I don't know. They'll have a great record.
See,
They'll be
you say
a good
piece
seed,
away.
but
You say
yeah,
piece away, but
yeah.
it's like I don't know, bro. It's like they're not they I don't and I said the same thing, but like
Like I think of the Cavs like I think of the Knicks. Like
no. It's
yeah,
different. It's different in Cleveland right now, bro.
is it?
I'm not saying 100% contender. Like if they're a pretender, it's not because of them. Like it has to
No, it
solely
is.
no, like you have to solely believe that because you just don't think they'll push through the top 2 or 3 teams in the East if they're not one of them.
I mean, I don't think they will, but like I don't know.
I mean, I think when you look at that team, you got depth all around. You got I mean, I don't know. I don't think they are I don't think they're 100% a contender. But I'm not even going to go as far as saying like I'm 50-50 on it. Like they are contenders in the sense that if I had to give you 5 teams from the East right now that were contenders, because that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like, what's the cutoff for what makes you a contender or a
I don't
pretender?
I don't think I have 5 East contenders.
So is
Like
that the thing though? Like, it's literally like you are a pretender because you're not the couple of teams that Devin assumes will make the finals.
yes.
Well, I don't know
Like
though. Like you
like
can
if
rank.
if we think about it as a team that could potentially make the Eastern Conference Finals, yes, they are contending in that.
You could rank even within contenders though. You could say, yeah, they're a contender, but they're at the bottom of my list. So like, okay, technically the Lions were contenders. It was a
Like
long
I wouldn't
shot.
I wouldn't call them like a Peloton like a Pelicans type of pretender,
Like,
but
okay,
they're like
like if
I don't know,
okay,
I don't think they're
like the Lions.
contending for a championship.
To me, the Lions were a contender. It was a long shot. It would have been a Hail Mary.
Sure, but to
But
me it's more like being a contender to make the conference finals.
and that was in Detroit. To me, the Lions are a lot different than, let's say, the way we looked at Tampa making the playoffs. We looked at that as like, oh, good job, like y'all made the playoffs. We didn't go, look, they're contenders.
No.
I don't, and I think like if we're
Uh,
the way I'm saying the way you're viewing a team like that, if that's how it look, if they're a contender, I'm asking what your definition of contender is, like deeper than just like the team I think is going to make the finals, like if that makes any sense, because
Again, I think that they're a contender to make the Eastern Conference Finals.
like is
I don't think that they will pass a Bucks or a Celtics team. Um, they could, but they're not in the Eastern Conference Finals. So I don't see them going any further than the Eastern Conference Finals. And in my opinion, they won't make the Eastern Conference Finals, but they could.
so they're like your third or fourth best team in the East.
Mm-hmm.
How I don't know, but so then you're saying the East sucks because how do you get to be the third or fourth best team in your eyes, but they're also not a contender at
There's
all?
2 championship contenders in the East.
I guess, but to me, I don't know, bro. To me, Boston is not as scary as I hyped them up to be in the beginning of the season. I think
Sure,
like
but what makes you think that the Cavs are super scary?
they got depth, and I like Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, I know, but you got 2 superstars, a great big.
Who?
Maybe not. You don't have the same depth,
Who are the 2 superstars?
Jalen and Tatum.
Jalen gets paid like one.
Is what that's my sort of definition
He gets paid like
in
one.
this
See,
moment.
that's your thing. So Jaylen Brown's a superstar, but the Cavs aren't even contenders. Like I
The
feel like
Cavs aren't. The Cavs are not contenders to win a championship. No.
contenders to be in the championship.
I mean, sure they are.
I feel like there's got to be a cutoff. You like I feel like you can be a lower you can be a lower chance contender,
Well, then they're a very low tier contender.
but
Like, I mean,
pretender
they
though,
could, but I don't see them making any sort of finals move.
or to play devil's advocate on myself, or to argue against myself, what is a pretender? Does a pretender have to be anybody that's not a contender, or is a pretender specifically a team that looks pretty good, but we just know isn't going the distance?
The
If that's
Cavs.
the case, okay, maybe the Cavs can be put in that spot. But to me, if you had to lean pretender, it's like 60-40. It's not something outrageous like
No. I mean,
it's not
they're a top tier pretender.
top tier pretender,
But
low
again,
tier
I don't know if I agree with
contender.
the word pretender, but yeah, I mean, I don't think that they're going to be gunning for championships right
Because
now.
a pretender isn't any team that's not a contender. A pretender is a team that has to at least mask as a contender.
Well, then they're in between.
Because that's what. Well, no. What I'm saying is
Well, then sure, they mask as a contender.
saying the Cavs are a pretender isn't saying they're as bad as the Spurs and Detroit, and
Sure, then yes,
because they're not
them and the Knicks
contenders,
both
they are
mask.
just trash.
Yes.
To be a pretender, you have to at least, have the foundation of an argument on why they could have a chance at being contenders. So yeah, I could
Yeah.
see why you
The
could say
the
the Cavs
the
are.
three teams I believe from the East. I mean, I'll stop there, but we'll continue with other teams. But yeah, no, I think that the Cavs are a great team that could make the Eastern Conference Finals, but they're not scaring anybody in my eyes.
Minnesota.
Are we jumping to the West?
So I mean,
I don't know.
look, Minnesota is their record 100% says like, oh yeah, I mean, no, they should be
How about a Cavs Timberwolves Finals? How's that sound?
Cavs
Doesn't that sound
Timberwolves
beautiful?
finals. That
All right.
sounds
Let me know if this is something that we would talk about or something you would want to talk about. Jason Tatum thinks that he will be the face of the NBA.
we can talk about it.
I think it's wrong.
I mean,
I,
in the sense of like
I think he'll be a name up there.
I don't think there's one specific face of the NBA anymore.
No.
Like who? Like okay, I guess because it was really after LeBron was his quote.
Sure.
It was some.
Well,
It
yeah.
was,
I mean, that's what I'm assuming. Like the
well,
next
the
phase.
context was like once LeBron's out, I will be the face
Sure.
of the league. So that's insinuating that LeBron is the face of the league right now.
Well, he said it was his to take.
But is LeBron like who's the face of the league right now? Is Tatum like to me? I already thought there was like 5 names right now fighting for the face of the NBA.
Exactly.
Or I just thought there was a
for
group
me,
of
it was
faces.
Steph and LeBron for a long time.
Yeah.
And now we're getting into the transition era where we're still figuring out who the real face will be. But we'll see that in years to come with who's winning championships, honestly.
Like right now, there's a Mount Rushmore in the sense of like 4 different faces
Sure.
faces in the NBA. There's a Mount
Embiid,
Rushmore.
well, not Embiid. Jokic, Luka, Tatum.
Embiid's up there.
Embiid,
up there.
sure.
Embiid's up
Giannis.
there. Yeah, then you got people like Giannis. But then here's the thing. You got people who love Dame. And to them, Dame has been the face of the NBA for the last 10 years because you can easily go on Bleacher Report or go on Instagram or go on whatever and have your algorithm to be just
Dame time, yeah.
or all Giannis clips or all Steph Curry clips or you got the shy guys. The shy guys.
There's some real shy guys.
Them
Those guys
SGA
are
boys, them shy
those
guys
guys
go crazy for him.
Those guys are OKC fans, but they hang out in San Francisco a lot.
I'm telling you, them shy guys, they love them some shy. So
They love Toronto and San Francisco. They love those
And
cities.
then same thing with Tatum. A lot of people love Jason Tatum. To me, I knew who the face of the NBA was. I mean, ever since I could, I don't know, ever since I had consciousness. And
Sure.
it's like I knew LeBron was the face of the NBA, but once that Warriors Cavs, war started, I do believe I don't think it necessarily made like it definitely gave Steph shine, but once LeBron left Cleveland
Cleveland.
and the Warriors declined in their, just being this dominant franchise.
Well, then won again.
Well, but here's the thing. They I don't know. I'm saying they won, but to me that last championship they had was separate than their first three.
To me, it's like they had their first one, and then they had the two with KD, and then they had their third, and then they had their fourth one. To me, the first and last one are more closely related than the middle two with KD.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. The first one led to the best record, and then them losing, and then them getting KD, and then it becoming a cakewalk to them being trash, and the dynasty's over, to having a chip on their shoulder, to then winning again.
Yes.
Steph was already the face of the NBA, a face of the NBA by then.
Yes.
Like he didn't have to win again for us to be like, no, Steph's a face of the NBA. Like he's
exactly. Yeah.
So I'm saying after the war between Cleveland and Golden State, I think it just people accepted that there's just multiple faces of the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, the moment that LeBron stepped foot on the court, we knew he was different.
Yeah. And
like I don't remember that, but from what I like, he was the guy. He was the next one up. He was the next Jordan, Kobe, whoever. I don't know if I have that same feeling about a Tatum or anyone like that.
Every guy they try to put it on, it's failed so far.
It fades. Like Kawhi was the guy.
Well, okay, let's be real. And sometimes it's their fault, sometimes it's not. To me, I would go back as far as, and I'm just brainstorming, like if we could easily go online and really fact check ourselves, but let's think of like how many people might have thought like Derrick Rose was the next guy.
Yeah.
And then the injury happens and then it's over for Derrick Rose. And like you said, Kawhi, and then he pulls his sitting out bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. And then my brain.
Harden was huge for years.
Thank you. I was just about to say, during that Golden State and Cleveland stuff, the pure score preachers, they were screaming for Harden and KD to be the face of the NBA. Harden and KD to be the face of the NBA. So, Zion. Zion's who I want to think of. Like, you got Zion. You got Ja, which Ja had the most faith in. You want me to say someone who can be a face of the NBA? Ja comes back and takes over the East. Tatum can say goodbye to that.
Agreed.
Tatum can say honestly no, because Ja. Tatum's I don't know. People love a comeback story.
I think if Ja can,
people love a redemption story.
Huh?
People love a redemption story.
Exactly. Like, there's nothing. Like, Tatum gives the fans nothing. Yeah, he's a great ball player.
See, but Tatum's
he has nothing. But it's like Kawhi. You've got a silent guy who's not really a face.
But at the same time, it's like he's just Tatum's just Tatum. Like he's just cool. Like he's just I don't know.
Yeah, I know, but that's not who the face of the NBA would be. And like the face of the NBA isn't the best player. It's the most exciting player and the guy who has a shot. I mean, LeBron was in 10 straight finals.
But the whole thing is, the whole thing is him being wrong about being the face is because he's already a face of the NBA.
Yeah, he's a face.
It's going to take a lot. And to be honest with you, there's way too much competition in the NBA now for there to be just one sole guy that's like, This is the guy. Unless there's some guy like LeBron who spends a decade in the finals. Like,
yeah.
It's just not, like
Zion had the potential, but those Popeyes biscuits were calling his name.
Exactly. Like 10 years from now, we'll be able to discuss if Tatum is the face of the NBA. Like we
Agreed.
can't.
And I honestly, I don't think he will be. Like it
But that's not
takes
discrediting him. He is a
no,
face.
no, sure.
When people bitch about Joel and Jokic and they're like, how are they getting all this shine and getting
That's
accredited
just me
MVPs and
talking.
getting no,
Actually,
that's everybody because everybody's
yeah,
talking
I know.
about Luca and Tatum. It's like I don't know. I don't know.
Like
It's weird.
I think that fan wise, Luca is more liked and is a more exciting player. But yeah, I mean Tatum is a face of the NBA, but I don't know. He doesn't have that star power that
And I'd
like.
really like
I
to
mean, no
know.
one is gonna give you what LeBron gave,
Here's
but
the thing: do you think people felt this way when? Because there's one name we haven't brought up. Do you think people felt this way in 2010, 2011 when people were saying this about LeBron and they were huge Kobe fans?
exactly.
I'm saying but I'm what if LeBron hasn't been the face like we're saying he has? But okay, but also,
Well,
see,
Kobe
it's like I
was
keep arguing with myself, like because
yeah,
I'm wrong because Kobe didn't do what LeBron did. Like they had different types of careers that makes you the face. Like Kobe was the face of like Kobe was the face of like Kobe. Like
yeah. And
it was
Kobe
different.
gets like from what I've seen, like yeah, Kobe was a massive part of the three-peat, but that was Shaq's team.
Okay. Yeah.
Like at that time. But then you
Yeah.
go then you go and then Kobe wins two more by himself.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now it's Kobe's era.
Mm-hmm.
Shaq won one with D Wade, whatever. But at that time, that three-peat, that was Kobe's team, and I mean not Kobe's team, that was Shaq's team.
Yeah.
But yeah, in that sort of like after Shaq left, Kobe took over. Kobe was a huge face while LeBron was struggling and then went to Miami. But I feel like after Miami, it was all LeBron
And
until Steph
there's
Curry.
phases too, bro. Like there
But
was
it's also like KD's one of the best basketball players we've ever seen. He's never been the face of the NBA.
I wouldn't say that though. Like he
But like when we
see, but
think of a
that's my thing. The
singular
more I
face,
think about it though, like the more I think about it, the less I think that there was just a face of the NBA rather than
exactly.
multiple faces all the time.
But
Now,
there's one guy that's some. But there's always a time when someone says, or when people have said that LeBron is the best basketball player in the world.
from when LeBron has entered the league to now, he's been one of the faces, but there has been a rotating door of other faces alongside him.
Sure,
And like you
agreed.
said, it's not always been technically the best player or the player who had a better year. Like it could be a player who technically is
Sure.
having a better year than LeBron or is more successful than LeBron that year, but LeBron's still gonna be the face of a face of the NBA.
Yeah, and I think that Tatum will be a he will have his rotation.
Yeah, and I think
He will
and
be in
I
that
think he's
rotation,
a
but he'll
face.
never be a top. I mean, he was in a finals.
He's a face, but he won't be the singular face ever. Like, that's just not gonna happen.
He won't be the most popular player. No one will call him the greatest basketball player in the world.
Uh,
And I mean, he'll be up there as one of the best players in the NBA. But
I
I
don't
mean,
know, bro. Like, I think some people
no
do
one
think
will ever talk
Tatum.
about a player the way that anyone's talked about LeBron or Jordan or Kobe or
There's
any of
some
these.
people that think Tatum is the best player in the NBA,
Yeah, and they're wrong.
but they're that's the best word you could use. I don't know that though. Like they could be wrong. I don't honestly. If you ask me right now, who's the best player in the NBA, I don't know if I could tell you.
No, agreed. But like when Steph was doing his thing, Steph had what? Steph won a scoring title. Steph had two MVPs, but
People calling him the best player in the world, or the best shooter in the world.
he was the best shooter in the world. Like he had a thing
I'm saying
that he was
some people think
incredible at.
Tatum's the
But
best
Bron was
basketball
still
player
the
in the world.
best in the world. Like when Bron got knocked off in 15, it was a shock,
Yeah,
like a massive shock.
yeah, but But see, that's the thing. The reason we can't even talk about Tatum right now is because LeBron could turn it on and be the best player in the NBA right now.
Yeah,
If
agreed.
you really wanted to. So let's get back. Let's finish the contenders and pretenders.
Sure.
And obviously I don't want to take up too much time because we got in that Tatum tangent. But T Wolves,
Yeah.
I think to me it's going to come down to Cat showing up. I think Ant's going to. I think Ant is. I think he's made for the playoffs. I think
He's solid.
he's going to be rock solid. He's good. But it's really going to come down to. It's going to come down to Cat, bro. I think that's what I think it's what it's going to come down to. So I wouldn't
Like
I would say
what I'm continue my bit.
no, you're good. You're good because I was just gonna say like the West is loaded,
Yeah.
which is what I was kind of saying with like the Cavs. Like maybe it's not the Timberwolves' fault.
Sure.
Like if they were in the West or if they were in the East,
Yeah.
we might be talking a different, 100%
for sure.
contenders. But
I think the Timberwolves should be in the East, but that's
but,
me.
but as of right now, I would say they got to be as much as a contender. They can't be too much more of a contender than Cleveland. I just don't. I can't. Like I can't accept that.
I have them a step ahead of Cleveland, but not by a lot. I mean, my thing is like 7 games for them is going to be tough. And honestly, they're going to have to really rely on defense. They have a great defensive team. One of the only teams I talk about when I talk about NBA defense, whatever NBA defense is, but they're not going to kill you scoring the ball. Like Ant can put up 30, 35. Cat can put up 20 to 30 or whatever. But outside of that, they don't have many scores, and they're going to have to rely on defense. But no, I would like to see them go far. I mean, a finals, I don't think so, but
I think they match up nice. Match up well versus I think they can match up in the West.
yeah.
I'll say contenders. I'll give it to them.
I'm borderline, but yeah. A low contender.
55, 45, somewhere around there. What about the Clippers?
Contenders.
To me, previous playoff Harden cannot show up.
Nope.
Obviously, Kawhi, PG, got to be healthy. But I think what's going to kill us is just our small ball lineup. Like,
yeah,
when it comes down to it, like even Cat, bro.
You guys
like,
still have Zubac?
Yeah, bro. It's like, and I say us very loosely.
Yes.
I'm not some big Clippers.
You're a Russ fan.
I support the Clippers because I'm a fan of Russell Westbrook. But
yes,
I will say that small ball shit is going to eat us alive at some point in the playoffs. We run into Denver. We run into Minnesota. Like
I was gonna say, how do you feel if you match up against Minnesota? Like
they're eating.
You guys would have to murder them offensively because
they're eating.
You have nobody to cover fucking Cat.
And this thing, and if Harden gets in panic mode, he might get into turnover mode. Like I don't know.
I mean, this is the best. This is the best iteration we've seen of like a new age super team.
I would not call them a super team.
No, but like a team with massive superstars. Like the Nets failed. Like a lot of these teams failed. Sure, a couple of these guys are past their prime, but
they showed no promise in the regular season, though. Like we knew they were gonna fail. Like
who, the Nets? Yeah, no. But see, the thing is, the Clippers show promise when they're all together.
All right, I'm gonna support the Clippers. I'm gonna support Russ. I hope they go all the way.
I think the Clippers are contenders. I think they have an opportunity to beat a lot of these teams in 7 games if they show up.
I think they might have a case of pretender syndrome.
That's fair.
Small ball is gonna kill them. Small ball's gonna kill them.
Small ball's worked before though.
The Suns.
Small ball got the heat in there.
We've yet to see a streak of a healthy big three. of Bradley Beal staying healthy and seeing the Suns, really
Yeah.
flourish.
I mean, in
So
my opinion, I think Beal can push him a step higher, but I think they have a solid team just with Book and KD.
see, but that's the thing. It's like, yeah, they can eat you a lot. Like they can eat you up offensively. I don't know. I like, and I've been saying this before the.
So is Book running the point?
Yes. I just want to see all three of them just together, healthy, for a streak, a long streak. I don't want news on like, we're hopeful on Beal and yada yada yada, and then he's back, and then now he's got back spasms or hamstring or this or
Yeah.
that. Like I want to see what they can do really before I even make some pick a side.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see your take, and then you got the Pacers.
Pretenders.
Yeah. So
I mean,
and
good on them for playing good ball. But
this might be a hot take, but like Halliburton came in the season hot,
yeah, he's a hyped up motherfucker.
but he flamed out a little bit.
Of course he's gonna. I mean, he came in hotter than fuck.
He flamed out just a little bit, and to me, that Pascal move is not as impactful as people are making it seem to be.
I mean,
Like,
I like the move. I think it's good for them, but it's not game changing.
it's cool. It is a cool move, but like,
Great move. But Pascal is an overrated player. He got praised. His name was put out there during the 19 championship run. When the Raptors had Kawhi,
yeah.
that's when we found out who Pascal Siakam was. He hasn't done dick since. Yes, the Raptors have sucked, but I don't know. He's not a game changer.
Okay, all right.
And Tyrese, in my opinion, doesn't have the scoring ability or star power to take over a game.
Okay. And then I left out teams that I thought were like obvious contenders or obvious pretenders.
Sure.
I just put in some teams I thought maybe were a little questionable.